All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brainwashed to be Broke, the show where we expose all the lies, all the beliefs, all the conditioning we were taught since we were born, and what is truly possible. Today, I'm here with Karl Klausewitz. He is
Clausewitz.
Klausewitz. Yeah, I put it into like Czech and like the Slovakian language, so
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully that's will make sense. Anyway, so he's an author, speaker, coach, and the founder of Success Marketing, where he helps entrepreneurs move past burnout and build around their purpose. So I'm pumped to have this conversation because what I've researched about him is also like lots of people build the business, hit the goals, and still feel like something is missing. But Carol's work raises a deeper question. What if the real problem is not a lack of success, but the way we were taught to chase it? So I'm really, really pumped to have this conversation. Without further ado, this is Carol. And for those who don't know you and would love to know more about you, can you give us a little bit about like who you are and like what is the type of claim to fame thing for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot for having me on, Adam. Really appreciate it. Great talking with you already. I grew up on a farm, and my parents were teachers, and I, um, just to start at the beginning, I didn't like going to school and having to sit in the desk all day, and I kind of learned after at first really that school was there to make you learn to sit all day and
Yeah.
I didn't like that either, but I love to read, and I never stopped doing that, and so that was what I ended up choosing for college to study.
Mm.
And I kept reading, well beyond. I read every morning and study, and I think that is really critical for anybody to be truly successful and really learn about who they really are. There's the person that you're told you're supposed to be, and then
Yeah.
there's the person that you really know on the inside and really feel that you should be, the
Mm.
person you want to be. And I think everybody is faced with that challenge from the beginning, and that's really what my coaching has been about for all these years, is trying to help people reconcile that difference and learn who they really are and get an understanding of succeeding in that and finding true success in their identity, rather than just having this idea of having to grind all the time and be busy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. Like when it comes to the way what we hold, like the belief that we hold, um, after finishing school and so on. Like for me, it was the worst time ever. Like I felt that I'm not belonging into school like at all. Like I don't know what the fuck they want from me. Like literally, it was so bad. Like sometimes they even like, for example, because like I'm from Czech Republic, English is not my first language, right? And like we had teachers for English, like in I don't know, seventh or eighth grade, and they literally, that teacher told me that I'm like Allison in Wonderland when it comes to English. Like I cannot speak at all. I didn't know,
Oh,
I didn't
jeez.
understand, and then that type of things. So that's pretty much tough version of like like getting opinion about you right at the beginning, and like it can actually completely hijack the way that you think and like how you
Yeah,
perceive yourself as
yeah,
a like as a human, because like I believe that we as a humans are really powerful and we can
yeah,
do so many things,
yeah.
and like there is no even limit to that. And then like
Hmm.
when they start putting you into those type of boxes and trying to shape you into those, it's just so insane to me, like how many
Yeah,
people are still, like how many people are locked into them so strongly that they cannot even get out from there, right? Like, and that's coming to my question. Like, when it comes to your, experience with schooling and so on, like, how did you felt about the whole situation? Like, have you been lagged in the school? Have you been the type of person that, like, people, like to hang out with? Or it was like more like that you've been the person, like, the dreamer, the different, like the one, the crazy one, like literally the one that is not like really accepted with the community? Or like, was it more
Mhm.
like that you've been like just normal everybody else, like around and having fun and such?
Well, I used to hang out when I was a kid before I went to school on the college campus when my dad would be teaching. And so that was my first contact with people was, outside of the family was on a college campus. And when I started going to school in town, I was shocked that all the people in town didn't want to improve or make themselves any better, and they didn't want to leave the town or travel at all because that was what all the people at the college were like. And so I was told that I had to have my name taped on my desk because it was long, and I had to have my desk, on a like a X on the floor so it wouldn't move.
Wow.
and so I wasn't very popular when I was younger because I had all these different ideas from reading books that the other kids just didn't weren't into reading books. They were into hunting and off-road vehicles, and that was their whole thing because that's what their parents did. And
Right.
so I wasn't very very popular until I got to know some of my classmates really well, and so I always had kind of this guarded, sort of, I'm not going to let myself out of my box until I get to know you kind of thing,
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
shyness that I had to get over, and relearn. It's kind of, I think, constantly unlearning things that
Mm.
you pick up. You don't even end up knowing like who told you this stuff or where you got it from, but it
Mm.
sticks with you. And the things that you learn to survive when you were younger then end up holding you back later in life. And I think that public schools were really set up to teach kids to be factory workers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why you're never taught about things like personal finance in public schools, because they want you to be a good factory worker. They want you to sit in the same spot and always come back to work and be there at the factory. And I just think that that's really really sad. When you're if you're I think the point of education is to teach people to think for themselves and question authority. But I guess that's a scary thing for public schools to to think that they should be teaching, so they don't. It's what are you getting set up for? What are you getting prepared for? That's why I love the title of your show and the topic. I really deeply that really deeply resonated with me, and I think it's a really great topic to bring up because everybody is just ends up kind of being stifled later in life. We turn into these guarded adults that don't even want to say hi to people and teach their kids that strangers are dangerous and all this stuff. It's kind of sad that we're so walled off in society and isolated from each other. So those are some things that I kind of rage against sometimes.
I love it. Yeah, this is so, yeah, it's so true actually, when it comes to like everything, how the system is set it up and such. And like,
Yeah.
I don't believe that probably like you have figured it like there was I probably like I don't think that you know already about like how everything is set it up right from the beginning, right? Your young age. Were there a moment where like when it clicked, like literally like wow, like the whole system is actually set it up against us? Like that, like all of those things are set it up so we have to like follow the rules and do not question certain things and such. If there was the moment for you, like how did that make you feel actually? Like what was it for you like?
I started noticing how slow the curriculum was, because when I was younger, I thought, wow, there's like what, 12 grades, and then college, we must be studying things like that are so complex by the time we get up into, these 9 or 10 grades, like, and, it
Yeah,
just wasn't, and I started realizing that the things that they, where they sourced the textbooks from, and where they got the things that how they chose what they put in the textbooks,
right.
and that was kind of, that light came on, and I was I was kind of like, oh, this is not good. This is up to me to figure out the kind of person I need to be, and not sit around and be told.
Right. Like what like asking for when to go on the toilet, like when I can have food, like what the hell? Like
Right,
this is
right.
that's like it's so crazy to me, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And like another thing that is like completely mind blowing to me is like the people who are working for companies. They have they know already at the beginning of the year how much money they will make it until the end of the year, which
Right.
is like so
Yeah.
crazy to
Yeah.
me. Like because like if
Yeah.
you're in the version you have no idea like unless you have like you like even though you have no idea how much money you're gonna make in the freaking today and like
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
for a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I
wild,
mean, you
right?
realize after being an entrepreneur for a while, you can, if you want more money any day, you can go out and make it.
Yeah, right.
There's no limit on it. So
Yeah,
people get stuck in this kind of job mentality. Like they think the only place to get money is from an employer, and the only
yeah.
way to get it is to have a salary. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's
Well,
kind
that
of
it's
sad
isn't
that
it
it's
that the
limited like
way?
that.
Isn't that the way that they taught us actually? Like in the
Hmm.
school, if you think about it, like
Right.
I don't even know actually if they've been presenting it that way. It was more like
Yeah.
that we've seen it from our like the environment that we've been
Yeah.
living.
It's
Like
like
our
implied, kind of.
parents and teachers, like everybody was
Hmm.
working for an hourly
Yeah.
rates,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Totally. Yeah.
So
It's
that's
like an
yeah,
implication is you're supposed to draw that conclusion on your own, I guess. That
right? Because
that's
in the
just what
school
everybody does.
they don't really teach us about like how to make money or like how
Hmm.
to like or if how to work even for us. They don't really teach us that.
Yeah.
At least in non my
Right.
in non my experience.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
more like literally just some total bullshit that they told us about like certain areas of like and not everything is completely bullshit, right? We have to know how to communicate, we have to know how to write and this type of things. This is the general things that basically anybody needs to know. But like going towards like this type of like things that have no potential like influence on our lives is just totally useless for me like completely. I
Right.
would
Right.
yeah I don't know what
Mhm.
was your experience when it comes to like studying like so like I don't know like let's say even if you not like working with those informations anyway you're gonna completely forget it like
Yeah.
that's normal, right? Like I don't know, do you
Mhm.
remember anything from the school like what you've been studying?
I would say the most important things that were things that I found out for myself,
Right,
just from being frustrated from what I had to study.
right,
I think, when you get to, at least when you get to higher education, you can choose what you want to study, and you're allowed to have a little bit more more of a part in your learning. But even then, a lot of the things that that are there as choices for you are, like you say, pretty useless when you get outside into the real world. And
Have you used something from your, studies from the school? Have you used anything in your life, like except language and like simple math, maybe history,
good
a
question.
little bit, if maybe,
Yeah, yeah. I would say I probably learned the most from history and from literature, from reading classic literature. I think
right?
is probably learned more useful things there than you know, like the math doesn't even go into finance,
No, it doesn't,
and
right?
like being able to do, they don't teach you to do your taxes or to how to run books in your business,
You
and
don't
how
even
to
like
account for anything.
yeah, when you're living in school, you don't even know what is freaking financial statement. Like literally,
Yeah.
this is the like it should be like literally what is the word I'm looking for? Like it's like essential thing that you
Mm-hmm.
have to learn. You like
Mm-hmm.
have to study because if you
Mm-hmm.
don't, how the hell you want to know how to make money and like how to be profitable or how to become financial free? And like we all chase financial freedom. Like if you
Yeah.
think about it, like all the
Yeah.
people out there,
Yeah.
even though they're working for corporate or they're just running like their own business or something, a side hustle or whatever, they
Mm-hmm.
literally all running to be financially free, like getting
Yeah.
enough money to live the life the way that they want,
Yeah.
right?
People end up thinking that people who get stuck in this job mentality, I think they end up thinking that you have to invent something to get rich. Like you have to come up with some kind of product that
Ooh.
is going to be, bought by everybody, and that's how you make it big, is to come up with the next widget. and,
Do you
and
know
that's
where
just so far
yeah,
off.
right? Do you know where that came from? I haven't heard that for a long time, but that's true actually. Like literally, I had
Right.
so many conversations, and now I had like literally realizing, oh my gosh, that's exactly what they think. Like it has to
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
it has to be something completely unbelievable, never seen before, like something like you have to be genius. You have to be some
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
completely crazy person that have
Mm-hmm.
never like I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
do you know where did that came from? Because I don't know.
Yeah, you're never taught to really think about what other people need, and the idea that you can possibly carve out a living from helping other people get what they need, besides some fantastic invention.
So
It's like that's
do you think
never
that it's
taught.
like they just came up with that on top of their head basically because of what everything like because if
Mm-hmm.
you think that may be the thing. Because like if you think like, we've been taught only about like those big things like inventing light bulbs and this type
Yeah.
of like or the person like Albert Einstein, he was so smart, so you have to be probably like this person to be able to do something like that or build a business that makes lots of money and these type of
Right.
things. Don't you
Right.
think
Right.
about it like that way?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
that
I
makes
totally
sense.
remember when that was kind of like, that's another thing that's taught, I guess, that is handed to you, this idea that you have to be an inventor to and to ever be wealthy, invent the next amazing thing. And it's
So
just so
crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's like, as if there was no service to anybody besides coming up with a widget.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I haven't like this is so cool. I haven't even think about it that way. Really cool. Wow. Okay. So, and you said basically that your background, like your parents, they've been actually teachers, like or your dad was teacher or something?
Yeah, my dad taught computer science and my mom taught education, so
Wow.
like
Okay.
how to teach, basically.
Wow. So, okay, okay. Do you have any like experience in this type of things, like how to teach and so on? Like, I'm really curious about that type of topic. Actually, can we go that way? Is that okay
Yeah,
with you?
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
okay. So because like most of the people when they are starting business, they don't even know how to study,
Hmm. Right.
right? And do you
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's like when you teach what, like, because you are a coach too, right? Like, you
Hmm.
basically, that's
Hmm.
what you do, and like you're helping people, with uh not just basically with like marketing and such, but like you have really like great variety of your skills that you've developed like along the way. And like, what would you say that like it's so important to understand when it comes to like being able to be a good teacher, like how to teach people the way they actually get it? Because like there are also lots of people, lots of
Yeah.
teachers, they don't even know how to teach. And then like
Hmm.
they basically, because every person learns different way, right? And I think
Hmm.
there has to be a color, like it has to be a balance type of, like, I don't know if that's the correct word to use or so. I don't like the word balance, but if you want to be a good teacher, you need to know also how to probably like study well, because if you
Hmm.
know how
Yeah.
people studying things, then you can become a good teacher.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
like when it comes to schooling, most of the people, it seems to me, like those teachers, they never thought about studying. They don't even know how to
Hmm.
study,
Hmm.
and then they don't know how to teach, because
Yeah.
like they teach only the way that they've been taught to teach, or they think that it's the
Hmm.
right way to teach, or they've seen other people teach, and they do just the
Yeah.
thing that they've seen from others.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's whatever is going to make the information really stick. You know, some people learn visually, some people learn best by being told
Yeah.
audibly. But everybody, I think, can't prove that they've internalized the information until they have to explain it for themselves or they have to do the thing for themselves. And so I think, however you get people to that point that they've internalized it so much that they can explain it themselves, or they can walk you through something, that's when you've really done your job as a teacher, and the person has actually learned about it, is if they can then tell the story and explain it themselves.
Okay. So do you mean like putting into practice? So taking from the explanation mode or like information mode to actually start doing the thing
Mhm.
like practically and see the results. Actually, that's what is good
Yeah.
teaching that you would describe. Good, like good teacher, good
Yeah,
teaching or
I think
effective
so.
teaching. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's, I
Um
mean, to me, that's how you can tell that someone really knows it all, is if they can then explain it, and they can do the thing.
right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I would describe it the same way, like actually, because like I believe that studying, when it comes to studying, there are two parts of studying. You have the information knowledge that you have to learn, and then also there is the practical one that you have to put it into practice. Because like you can
Mhm.
learn and only so much about the thing, but then actually the execution going to give you the 80%, I would say, or maybe like the bigger half of
Yeah.
learning when you are actually doing it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like swimming is a great example of that. Like
Right.
you can sit around and read books about swimming and think about swimming and learn about how the different techniques work, or you can be doing it and practicing it. And
Yeah.
there's obviously a huge difference there, and you're not going to learn how to swim just by reading about it and just by reading about the history of swimming and how the strokes were developed by different people and who developed them and all. You're not going to learn it by doing that. You have to be out and doing it, like you say.
Yeah, I love it because like think about it, like people, I would love, well, that would be really interesting to see, like literally people, how many of them would like uh have a success just with. But there were actually some studies. I don't know if that's actually related to something like that, but like there was some studies that people like when they've been, but they had to visualize. Okay, that's completely different world.
Mm.
Um, because they've been studying some type of, like, for example, they've been like studying about how to like when you playing basketball, Yeah, basketball.
Mhm.
They've been studying how to throw the ball to the basket, right? And then there was like study about like there was like different type of groups. They've been throwing the ball basically, like or like doing this type of math and how you should hold the hand and so on. And then like they've been just like reading about it, like studying about it based on reading. Then there was another group that they've been actually visualizing it. So they've been like studying but visualizing it. That was the main thing.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
then there was a third group that they've been literally like practicing it. Of course, the
Okay.
practicers, they had the biggest, success. But
Mhm.
the people that have been visualizing it, it was just like 10% difference
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
actual ones. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
There's
completely
huge
different
power in
world
that
in
too.
here, but it's
That
really
that's
interesting.
that's a great example. I think there's and that's why there's huge power in visualizing. And like before IndyCar drivers
Right.
ever race a course, they have them visualize it over and over and over again, what it's like to race that many laps up to victory, because they
Ooh.
know it'll help them. And so you can do the same thing with your own success, your own path
Mm.
to to wherever your goal is, to whatever you're trying to do. You really do the same thing, and it really does make a huge impact
Yeah.
and really help if you can visualize every single step. And I think that's that's kind of where the whole idea of manifestation comes from.
Right.
That you're not going to just receive something out of the sky unless you are able to visualize it first and visualize all the steps and know what you need to do. And that's when you some of the kind of autopilot sort of kicks in, and your mind starts putting the pieces in place for itself
Ooh.
and all the
Mm.
things that need to happen.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna like a little bit move from this type of topic. I would love to go a little bit about like when it comes to your success that you've accomplished and like everything what you've experienced until this point. I'm just curious, like when it comes to the driving source for you, like what is behind the success actually for you? Like, is it something that like, are you believe in Jesus, or like, are you hunting a freedom, or like, the like financial freedom or any type of freedom, or like, is it legacy, or what is it actually for you? I'm just like really curious about that.
I think legacy is a good word.
Yeah.
I think it's for me it's the impact that I want to make on the world.
Mm.
How I want to be remembered when I'm gone, and what kind of difference I want to make in people's lives, and how many people I can help. If you like helping people and you think that's important, then how many people are you helping, and what kind of a difference are you making for people? And that's what's really important for me, is helping as many people as I can and making the biggest difference I can. So I think if you want to get to the point that you can be really impactful and change the lives of people who you'll never meet, then it takes a lot of capital, and you need to enable yourself before you can enable other people. Be able to have that money to give away. You have to get to a certain point. You have to get to the point of having the money before you can be giving it away. And
Yeah.
that's a lot of the reason behind what I do. Is you have to lift yourself up before you can lift other people up.
How did you get into that conclusion actually? Because like there are so many people that even, for example, can be scared to uh you know charge money, or like they are not comfortable because they don't believe in themselves and this type of things. Like, how did you get into this type of state of mind that literally like support you with basically the success that you want to accomplish?
I think it started when I was really young. Uh, I first wanted to be a doctor because a doctor helped me and basically saved my life. And I thought that was really cool. I thought he was the coolest guy, because otherwise I wouldn't be around anymore. And that made a huge difference to me. And I thought, why can't I be like that? Someone who makes a difference in people's lives and really helps other people. And, to be able to do that for your family, to be able to do that for your community, people down the street, and in the bigger picture, in the bigger arena, if you want to be able to do those things, then you have to enable yourself first, to be able to support your family, to be able to support those around you. And people have so many needs and so many problems. So if you want to show up as someone who is part of the solution instead of part of the problem, everybody's either one or the other. The people are either dragging you down or lifting you up. And so it's what kind of person do you want to be in the world? What kind of difference do you want to make? That's what it comes down to for me.
Yeah. You said that you wanted to become a doctor because like there was something like when you've been kid that like literally led you to have some type of experience with doctor or something like that. I'm just curious if
Yeah.
if it's too insensitive, you don't have to talk. Like we don't have to talk about it. But like I'm just like really curious about that.
No, I mentioned I grew up on a farm, and so I used to play outside a lot. And one night I was in the barn, and it started getting dark out. So there was a light switch up on the wall, and I climbed up on the hay wagon to get to the light switch, and I fell off the hay wagon, and there were fence posts leaning up against the hay wagon, and I caught my leg on one of the metal fence posts,
Wow.
and
I
my
haven't.
leg
Yeah.
was sliced open from like the knee down to the ankle. It was like my whole
Wow.
leg was laid open. Like
Wow.
the doctor said it was like maybe a quarter of an inch from the artery or something like that. And
Ooh.
that was like the last time my mom carried me. I was like 4 or something. And I got rushed to the hospital. It was like maybe 180 stitches or something like that.
Wow.
And
Can you
so
and you
they
did they
couldn't
fix your
knock me out. They couldn't give me enough drugs to knock me out because I was so
wow.
curious about what the doctor was doing. I was watching him the
Wow.
whole time, like asking him questions and everything. And
Right.
so
Did they save
that's
the leg
what it was.
completely, or is it like did you have some type of like stuff like stuff that follow after even like
I was on a crutch for a while, but
right?
I was lucky that it all healed and I was okay.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it because like this is insane. Wow, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy though.
It's just like yeah, I know like what like when we've been kids like we've been doing so many different like shit just like having fun and so on like yeah you don't
Yeah,
really think and it's so crazy like when it comes
yeah,
to like it's from one side it's crazy but like I would wish for so many people to be the kid all again, like literally to or to stay being a kid, but not
mm,
the way of like how they look, but the mental, like mentally, like they are so
mm,
curious, searching for things, because like there are so many
yeah,
people that I literally completely like change the way they think they
mm,
there is not anymore the curiosity they don't try to solve things and
yeah,
so on, right? And that's the whole way that we've been programmed basically to become this type of like just like walking that it seems like
hmm
sometimes that like
hmm
people don't really think they just like do things without
yeah,
like the things that have been taught, nothing else, nothing new, they don't study and so on. And also like when it comes to because you mentioned that you've been always like studying so much and like super curious about studying like what study actually mean to you like is it some like do you study all the time like do you love studying like since you were young and like you continue studying and how do you think like how the world would be different if people would be obsessed about studying like studying things because like it seems to me that school is literally teaching you the opposite like hating studying.
yeah, yeah. To me, it's kind of a step above reading. So it's not just the same as reading for pleasure. You're actually thinking about what you're reading, and also taking notes is part of it for me, to have something to refer back to. And I think that uh, writing, then, having to write an outline about what you're reading, and having to put something together that makes sense based on what you're taking in, is kind of the next step, beyond just comprehension. That uh, I think I like to do it, really early in the morning, so I'm not tired at all, as opposed to in the evening, when
Right.
the only other time most people have time. And I like to study really whatever fascinates me, whatever kind of gives you that little rush of excitement when you're just curious about something. And I study things that could help me or could help others, which kind of goes back to the what I was saying about what kind of value you have for other people, or what kind of difference you want to make. If you want to be a difference maker in the world, then you have to increase your worth. And the way you do that is by learning. Learning useful things, to me, is really critical. And it's just amazing how much you can get through if you just set aside 20 minutes a day to do that. You'll find yourself completing books, and filling out notebooks, and um, learning. Probably you can learn easily like 10, 20 books in a year, just by taking 20 minutes in the morning, when you add that time up. I think it's like, if you do the math on like 1% better each day, that's what I aim for, is 1% better each day. If you add up over a year, that makes for 37% better over the course of a year. So people just don't think about how they're spending the time, and the impact that it has on their own life, and really the lives of those around them, when they're just wasting their time. Your time is so critical. Even people who are billionaires will tell you the most valuable resource you have is your time, because you never get it back, and you can't buy any more of it. And so I think it's just so important to try to find what fascinates you, and have that curiosity like a kid, and really, not let that be beaten out of you by the world, to be able to keep that kind of fascination and interest about things. I think we all have that innately in ourselves, to when we're born. So I think that's it's kind of like love. Then it gets trained out of you by the world if you let it. So I think it's really important to do that.
And we don't even know how long of the time we have actually in this planet, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, and people just waste so much of them, oh,
Mm-hmm.
so much of it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's so
There's so many
crazy.
distractions now.
So many distractions, and people, it seems like they do, because like I usually making assumptions based on what I can see, what the person is doing, what the person is all about.
Mm.
When it comes
Yeah.
to that, like when I see people like just find a stranger somewhere, and I can see how he's behave. I can talk
Mm-hmm.
to that person for 5 minutes, and I know exactly what's wrong, like literally
Mm-hmm.
what is going on in his head.
Right.
um and even like I can see, even like when you're talking, like when I'm talking to business owners, like literally it seems to me like one way it's a blessing because I know how to help them, right? But one way it's a curse because I'm always looking for those type of things. I don't know why
Mm-hmm.
that happened. Like it happened to me, like when, or for me basically, after being so long in the business and seeing so many different people and different, like working with different people, to actually like, wow, okay, I get what the person is like. I know exactly what is the person going through right now, because like
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly like, And it's just insane how people don't, it feels to me like they don't care about the life, or like about the
Mm-hmm.
life, the
Mm-hmm.
time they have in here in the
Yeah.
world. Because they just like, if you like, if you're going to fast food and you're eating every day fast food, like, you either don't care about your life or you just like the food, but like, you have not enough time to think about like if the food is healthy or not healthy, and like how much it's affecting your life from like how long you're going to be in here. Because
Yeah.
like, I know that, like, I don't know exactly the conditions that are in USA when it comes to the food and such, but I heard
Mm-hmm.
that is like, when you are going to fast food and so on, there are so many those type of like, what is the word I'm looking for, like, when the food like, there are so many like this type of like, what is it,
Nutrients in the food, you mean?
nutrients, right, probably, that are
Mm-hmm.
literally like causing even like cancer, and people still eating it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know like
Yeah.
how you observe it, or so like, and how you dealing with, for example, those type of things. But like, the world is designed to destroy people. Like, we literally are only species that literally like does it, like, not just desinficate, is it the word, like using desinfectations to like literally clean the food and so on, or like spraying the food with some type of
Mm-hmm.
stuff on like on the fields and such. We are the
Yeah.
only species that doing that, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
literally, and for food that we eating, and we don't even think about like how big of a impact it has on our lives, for example, and
Right.
so on.
Right.
Like, have you ever
Yeah.
think about it? I'm just like curious, because
Yeah.
that's part of the programming too, it seems to me, like, when it comes to having a healthy habits and so on.
Yeah. I I always say follow the money, because so many things like
True.
that are being done because people think it's making them more money,
Yeah.
and they're not thinking through all of the implications
Mm,
of their actions. They're
mm,
just thinking about the quick buck, and I think that can be really unhealthy in that way, that it encourages people to think about the quick buck rather than the long term or the bigger picture, or anything like that. And there are a lot of reasons that that's bad, and um we just live in such a fast-paced society now. Everything is so fast, and people don't take the time to think about what their actions mean, and how they're actually keeping themselves from, their actions they're taking on a daily basis are keeping them from living the fulfilled life that they
mm,
want and being happy for a long time. And they just don't even take the time to put the two together.
mm.
And I think if people just took some more time, away from the screens, and to really sit back and think about things and not be afraid of their thoughts. People are afraid that what's going to happen if I actually sit back and think about things, because these truths will start to come out, and you'll start to realize that the decisions you're making are causing problems in your life, and people are afraid of that. And I think that is healthy, and it should be something that should be prioritized and not avoided.
Yeah. Do you have kids, actually?
No,
You
no,
don't?
I'd like to have kids. We'll see if it happens. I'm getting kind of old now.
What do you mean? What do you mean by getting old?
Well, it depends. I'd like to, have a family, and you know, like I was
How
saying, with
old are you,
legacy,
actually?
but
How old are you?
I'm 49 now, actually.
49.
Yeah,
And you have
yeah.
do you have a wife or a girlfriend, or you don't have
I I
yeah,
I haven't been happy with the people I've had relationships with, and so I
right.
never I never felt like it was the right time to have
Right,
kids.
right,
So
right, right,
um, I guess I'm dating with intention now.
right. Wow. Well, so you basically living now with like literally building a business that's like a baby for you now.
Yeah.
Having a business, yeah, and very cool. Well, and when it comes to like, okay, when we talk about the business and so on, like I know that you basically are, you wrote a book, is that correct?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's it on the shelf back there behind me. It's called Your Authentic Self.
Okay. So what is it actually about? Just like real quick, I'm just curious
Yeah,
what prompted you actually to write the book?
it's about connecting with who you really are, and it has exercises in it that are intended to help do that. I didn't want it to be something that sat on people's shelves. I wanted it
Right.
to be something used, and
Practical. Used, yeah.
yeah, and so I really wanted to put some of my ideas out there, some of my best ideas, and have
I
something to
see.
hand
Yeah.
people. So that was kind of my idea behind it. I I don't know. But now I'm not really satisfied, and I'm looking to publish the next book. So we'll see. Once you get in the habit of writing, it grows on you.
Right, yeah,
You-
I see. Yeah, I love it. And especially like it's playing the role of the legacy type of thing, when it comes to having the book, I believe that's one of the ways how you can, if you think about it, like generations can actually remembers you,
Mm. Yeah,
because like that's
yeah.
not the only, because like in average, I think I heard it from somebody that in average, you two generations actually remembers you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Or maybe
But
maybe
not,
three at the most,
yeah,
right?
maybe three, right? But then like when you have a book, that's a different world, right? Because like the book
True.
never going to disappear.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
What
is
about
really
you?
cool.
You have kids? How old are you? Did you come out with
Yeah,
a book yet?
so I'm 29.
Oh, geez,
This year
you're a pup.
30. Yeah. This year I'm 30 this year. So like there are some moves that
Nice.
I should be actually getting and taking the next steps, because like I have a girlfriend
Yeah.
for freaking 9 years or
Okay.
8 or 9 years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I didn't do the next step yet. So it's still like we have such a great relationship together after
Oh, it's
everything what we've
beautiful.
gone through and so on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like how crazy it is to I changed the way that I operate like 2 years in the relationship, and I
Hmm.
jump
Hmm.
into business and building businesses and so on, like being so curious about that.
Hmm.
And like we met in different environment, right? Like I've been just a normal kid having fun and such, like going parties and so on. And then like 2 years in, I changed completely, right? I just like, wow, like we have to do, like we have to basically stop drinking. I'm not going to parties because it doesn't make any sense. It's just like pouring out the money out of us instead of
Hmm.
like, building something that's actually going to give us the freedom that we are seeking for and so on. So
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
there was the period of like kind of understanding each other. So
Hmm.
it was like very tough for a
Hmm.
relationship to like, because I've been like obsessed about like business and so on, like everything, how to build it, mindset, and like like I've been studying so much, like so crazy. So it actually like it like push away her a little bit,
Hmm.
and then like we had the moments that we had to actually find a way back together, and now like it's so much different because we see each other, like we are helping each other, we growing and so on. Like I wish you finding some partner like this, or some like to be able to have the synergy, like that is all working together, like you are supporting each other and like
Hmm.
getting
Hmm.
into the next level, because like she can see what you are doing for
Yeah.
for the family and for the legacy and for the future for yours, for you and her.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah, it's just different. It's just different experience. I don't have kids. We're planning, but
Okay.
not at the moment. Still, like, I want to make sure that everything like fits into the place, but I want to make sure that I'm living somewhere where I like it first, then
Mm.
actually, and then jumping for kids. But we don't really. We just like travel
Okay.
now. Like in the moment,
Yeah.
like we are like travel, observe things, learn things and such. If that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What fulfilling you a part of like building a business actually? Is there something that you really love more than even business? I'm just like really curious because like we've been talking about technology and so on. Like you're really interested in like, AI these days also, but you had your background in IT. Like, is that part of something that you like more than actually building a business is? Or like, like from the personal side of things, do you love sports? Do you do something like, I don't know. Tell me.
I really like to travel a lot
Right?
and see places. I want to do that more. I
Mm.
I really love diving, scuba
Diving.
diving, and
Really?
yeah, seeing the ocean. It's such a alien
Why?
world.
Why that is such an interesting thing for you?
It's
I'm just curious.
it's totally different from anything, and it's so alien and new, and it, it's really peaceful down there. You just hear
Yeah,
yourself breathing, and there's no outside influence. It's all natural world, and I and that's I think it kind of reflects back into you and who you are. Same with traveling, that seeing things, seeing places for the first time helps you remember kind of who you are, and helps you see inside yourself, sometimes for the first time. And I just really love that about it.
I love it. Yeah, it's really interesting because like water for me is like the thing that this is the only place that I can like think, and the most ideas, literally like the best ideas that I ever had came actually from having a shower, which is really interesting. I don't know why. It's like the water
Yeah,
for me
right.
is like some type of magnet, or I don't know.
Yeah, it
Like
puts
it's
your
like,
nervous system in like a
yeah,
state.
yeah, yeah, right. I'm curious for like when it comes to your life, what is like the most mind-blowing thing for you, like when it comes to and you are so passionate about, and like something that you maybe even recently figured out or studied? Is there something that you like completely like, you are zoomed in and like, this is insane and I love to geek out on it? Like I'm really curious what that is.
I think it's seeing seeing people discover things, seeing people discover themselves, and realizing that they have more than they thought,
Hmm.
realizing that they have gifts that are beyond what they were told or what they believed. And I really love being able to turn people on like that, and see that realization in people, and see them get excited. I
Right.
think is just really special. It's really there's nothing like that to really um, get people to see the possibilities in their own lives.
Is there
Uh,
some specific part of it that like literally like you love to geek out on the most, like when it comes to like, is that the mindset thing that you are like completely like, like obsessed about? Or is it like that, is there something more interesting to you and like that you love helping people?
I think when people cross a line and they realize what they can do, and they realize that life is never going to be the same now that they learned this thing, that I think that's really special, and being able to be a part of that is really exciting for me.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love it. Well, thank you so much. That was a amazing conversation.
Yeah,
We had so
yeah,
much fun.
sure, yeah,
I have a last question and then three rapid fires that I usually ask. So the
okay.
last one is like when it comes to your personal life and the business life, like what is the next goal for you when it comes to like, thinking about the future? Where do you want to take your business and your personal life to work?
I would say helping more people achieve success, helping more people not just have a job, but helping them to free themselves and being able to offer that to people almost like in a wholesale, automatic offhand kind of fashion, to be able to pull people in, who maybe thought that they didn't have a chance or thought they were stuck, and be able to offer that to them, and help them in that way. That's really what I want to get nailed down, is being able to do that with precision, and with as many people as possible.
Love it. And personal life?
Yeah, you mean me personally, as far as
Yeah,
what I want
sure.
to achieve? Yeah,
Totally.
I'd like I was saying with family, I'd really like uh, to build a family, and um, be more integrated in a community, and have that be intentionally put together, and design, have uh, kind of designed love, designed, built. um I think that would be next for me.
Love it. Well, thank you so much again. So the three rapid fires are the first one is if you would recommend a book about, becoming an entrepreneur, like for somebody who's starting out, that's basically your type of expertise. Like when it comes to what would that book, what type of book you would recommend somebody to read?
I would probably recommend Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's kind of like the granddaddy of personal development books. He was kind of the pioneer. Henry Ford hired him to study successful people and figure out what it was that made people successful, and he wrote that book based on his studies, and I really love it. Some of the things he
Yeah.
says are just brilliant.
It's really interesting because like if you think about the podcasting, it's pretty similar thing.
Right.
You're interviewing successful
Yeah,
people to literally like
yeah.
make your study about. Like I could literally turn this
Mhm.
into a study book or a study course or something that people would literally like have the best pieces of the content or like best
Yeah,
ideas, best thoughts, best lessons that
yeah.
could be
Probably be
like
really easy. Just
mentioned.
take all the transcripts and dump them
Yeah.
into AI.
So funny. Well, yeah, like with AI, that's a different world there, right there. Wow. Yeah. Such a crazy, right? Like that would
Yeah,
never be we wouldn't ever do like able to do that if without it. Wow. Yeah.
yeah. It's an
Well, okay.
exciting time we're in right now with
Oh
this.
yeah.
With this, the
So much. Yeah.
possibilities are so huge. There's so much
So crazy.
opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so the second question is if you had the power over deleting a advice from the internet, what advice would you delete from the internet that doesn't serve people?
I think maybe fake it till you make it.
Holy smokes.
I think that's one of the
Yeah,
dumbest things people say,
yeah,
because it's
yeah, they do.
it's discrediting from the
Yeah,
start.
yeah, yeah. Well, that didn't like this is there are people that actually like there are gurus that are literally telling you to do so. which is really interesting, and like people are actually listening to them. So it's like this is really
Yeah.
interesting. Like when it comes to like having a power, like having an influence, like you don't like yeah. It's really interesting. If you have the if the wrong people have the influence and
Mhm.
like they just putting it out there that way, it can actually harm people more than actually make good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really cool. And if this would be, which is I'm not expecting to be, but if this would be your last interview we would ever done, what would be the message that you would love to leave behind you?
I would say that your life isn't something that you figure out. You know, your
Ooh.
purpose is not something that you find,
Mm,
and having alignment is not just this lightning bolt of realization. It's really a return. It's
mm,
a return to part of you that existed before the world told you who to become.
mm.
And when you can reconnect with that part, everything in your life starts to shift. And I would encourage people to stop chasing the life that they think they should want, and start building the one that they actually feel, and start making true honest choices every day about, based on not the successful you or the strategic you. Let the actual true part of you decide what should be done. And
Oh,
then I think everything falls into alignment. And when you choose truth over performance, your life begins to move in the right direction.
I love it. Yeah, this is so cool. Well, thank you again. That was a great
Yeah,
conversation. I really
yeah,
enjoyed
yeah,
time with
definitely.
you.
Thank you.
And yeah, for everybody who's listening, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.
Awesome.